Good morning, everybody, and a big welcome to you all in today's well crafted webinar, in which we will be discussing a very basic thing about careers in life, and that is, should one be an entrepreneur or should one not be an entrepreneur? Right? Everybody, in my 36 years of experience, I have seen that everybody deep down in his heart wants to be an entrepreneur. He wants to be an entrepreneur for various reasons. Maybe for independence, maybe for philanthropic reasons of giving employment, or purely to make more money as he thinks is there in entrepreneurship.
A very good morning to all of you. In my life, I have had always a special respect for entrepreneurs because it is they who are generating the real value for the Indian economy and society. That's the personal
Very true.
preference that I have for a special respect for those people. You know, they are the people who get the best out of them. Entrepreneurship is a trade which utilizes you to the fullest possible extent. And not only in that process you generate wealth for yourself, but also for the people whom you will employ and the value that you will create for the Indian economy. All of that is positive, and so entrepreneurs, special respect to them. Professor Jitendra Nigam, I guess, it's very difficult question that we have taken up today. The initial polls say that 50% of them want to be entrepreneurs and 50% don't know. So I will presume 100% would want to be entrepreneurs someday. And the next poll question was on that whether MBA will help. And 75%, to my pleasure, 75% of them say that that an MBA can help entrepreneurship. What's your starting view on that? I guess you did some research a few days back on this. Let's have it from you.
Yes, Dr. Sharma, I have made a case study, and that case study reflects that most of the startups in India, I have predominantly kept it within India, and if you see all these startups from Dunzo to Snapdeal to Make My Trip to Zomato to Swiggy to Ola, everybody here is an MBA graduate, right? And I have just taken a few of them. If you search on the net, you will find thousands and thousands of startups which are run by people who have first done their MBA and then become entrepreneurs. Right? If you want to see how many successful entrepreneurs are there without MBA, I think you will be able to count on your fingers, right? Dhirubhai Ambani, or the old Birlas and Tatas. The new generation leaders of Birla, Tata, Ambanis are all MBAs. Kumar Mangalam is an MBA. Yes. Both the sons of Dhirubhai Ambani are MBAs.
Yes, right?
You're right. So if they were not MBAs and they made their children do MBAs before they get into business and flourish or augment their business, which means that MBA has a value, right? And so it is very, very important. According to me, there is no confusion. A person, whoever wants to get into entrepreneurship, right, he must take an MBA degree.
Great. In fact, in a global trivia that sounded very interesting to me, that the largest valuated companies of the world, the unicorns and the multi-unicorns, 50 of them, if you picked up, at least one MBA, one co-founder was an MBA. So which shows on that if it is about an idea, you may not need an MBA, but to run an enterprise,
yes,
you may require an MBA.
And India is a very good destination for doing an MBA. Statistics prove that out of 65 people who did MBA, who are successful startups, 54% people have done their MBA from India. And only 46% people have done it from abroad, maybe Harvard and Stanford and all. So India is a good destination.
I would
for
add on
MBA.
to say it's a hot.
It is cheap
Yeah.
in India, right? And I think the delivery is also better. That is why we have more people, more MBAs successful in entrepreneurship than outside.
Fantastic. This is a good piece of research, and I'm sure it makes a lot of sense why India is hot today and why India is at the center of economic attraction of the world.
We are a hub for MBA studies today.
So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about entrepreneurship first or MBA, and whether MBA helps entrepreneurship. So, if we look at historically, basic human nature is to have an enterprise. Even if somebody is working for somebody else, there are certain elements which you do it on an everyday basis because you want to do that. You love to do that.
Yes.
Basic human nature is enterprise, but startups, business, entrepreneurship is an adventure which everybody wants to do, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. Big guys, as you rightly said, Dhirubhai Ambani, or these people, you can count them on fingers. There are business families where the child actually runs, walks, sleeps, talks, eats, drinks, business fundamentals at home. But these are very, very few children born with a silver spoon.
And here again, sir, these days all MBA institutes have got a tailor-made program for family enterprise also.
Yeah, so
And it is most of the time fully booked, which means all the family-owned businesses also want their children to do MBA.
exactly. And so if you discount them, that there are about 1% of the entrepreneurs who are coming from established business families, rest 99% have to do some qualification, the skills
Yes.
which you can get best at an MBA. Look at this. Nearly 20% of Stanford graduate school and 10% in Harvard Business School. These are the world's best business schools. The person coming out from here starts at, if you look at Indian equivalent, they start on an average at 1 crore per year. And look at them. Why would 20% of them or 10% of Harvard graduates would want to get into an entrepreneurship or own venture? And remember that they have done an MBA and then they are now
Yes,
looking for
yes.
it. That's the thing that you need to, So, but yeah, I am always intrigued that, what makes a successful entrepreneur? Any idea about specific qualities and knowledge, specific entrepreneurial knowledge that the entrepreneurs must have?
Dr. Kamal, see, my take on this is that, according to me, anybody can become an entrepreneur. You don't need any special qualities for that. But yes, you need special skills.
I'm already looking at a movie called ABCE. Anybody can become an entrepreneur.
Very well said. A, B, C, D, E. Anybody can become an entrepreneur. Right? A, B, C, D, E. Very well said, sir. Okay, so anybody can become an entrepreneur provided he skills himself to become an entrepreneur. What generally happens, Dr. Saab, is that people want to become an entrepreneur on just wishful thinking and to take advantage of what the government is doing for entrepreneurship. So today you have Stand Up India, you have Shining India, you have Make in India, right? And so loans and everything is easily available for startups. So people want to encash on that, right? And they think that they can do it very easily. There is nothing much required. We will hire people and they will do it all for us. It doesn't happen, right? You have to learn the trade you want to be in.
True that.
Right?
Yeah.
And once you learn the trade, then there is nothing that can stop you from becoming successful.
So rather than following a herd mentality, you should follow your own instinct of how to do business.
Yes.
Some important qualities.
What I feel is to get into to become successful in entrepreneurship. First and foremost, you must have a vision on what you want to of what you want to do, and a clear vision. You must not take up a venture only because you feel somebody has become successful, so you can also become successful.
Right.
Right. See, we people, we know only the successful people. Generally, or rather always, nobody wants to know about a failure. Everybody wants to know about successful stories. And those successful stories make an impact on your mind.
Correct.
And then you want to replicate that particular success.
Right.
Without knowing whether you have it in you or not.
True that. Yeah.
Right. So
Most basic.
First and foremost, you must have a very clear vision as to what you want to do in life. And if you feel that yes, you want to be an entrepreneur, then you must first equip yourself with the basics that are required to be an entrepreneur, and then work on to become an entrepreneur. You must see your strengths. I will give you my own example. When I gave up my job and I came back to my hometown Jaipur, and I was looking for some businesses, I introspected on my own strengths, and I found that I had 2-3 strengths. The first strength that I had was that I had 18 years of experience as a salesperson,
Yes.
and I had lived it all right from sales executive to vice president. Right. So I had all the knowledge required to do selling. And so my first venture was Synergy Marketing Inc., wherein we import fabrics from out of the country, and then we supply to exporters here in India who make garments. So first was my first strength, and that was my niche in selling. Thereafter, when that was established and I wanted to expand and I wanted to take up another venture, I again introspected, I again saw my strength, and I found that my father, luckily, has given me a parental house which is in the heart of the city, right? And it's a fairly large chunk of land. So I made studio apartments for corporate executives, and I built a business around studio apartments.
So you followed your passion. You did not follow a fashion.
Yeah, that again is there. I did not take up a business which is fashionable by in itself. I took up something which was my strength, number one, and I had a passion towards doing that business.
And the things that you could completely control and have confidence on that.
Yes. See, my third vertical of entrepreneurship is bakery and cafes. Now it's very fashionable to start a bakery or start a cafe or start a restaurant. It's very fashionable for youngsters today to say, "Oh, I am a restaurateur. Oh, I am a cafe owner." Right? Why did I take up this? Because I have a passion for food. I am a foodie myself, and I know good amount of cooking. I may not have done a course in culinary, right? But I know culinary very well. Right. So again, it gelled with my strengths.
Yeah, you played with your strengths.
Yes, I played basically with my strengths. All my businesses, whether be it trading, be it studio apartments, be it this, or be it the NGO.
See, it was about a great understanding of the product that you want to get into, the business you want to get into,
yes.
and the specific skill that requires to run that business. If it was selling, you knew that you had strength in selling.
Yes.
You did that. You did not outsource this to anybody, and that's the strength of your business. Great. Great exposition of an entrepreneur, as I initially said about. But we also see, when we go and look at the market, we see that the ventures and startup failure rates is very high, 90%. We also need to know that what do entrepreneurs fail in that they can avoid by getting some specific skills that definitely that you can get at an MBA class.
That reminds me of one short clip which I made the other day, and maybe the IT team can give the link, and all the people watching this webinar can go through that also. But I personally feel amongst so many other reasons why businesses fail. I personally feel there are 5 major reasons, 5 cardinal reasons why businesses fail. Right? And this summation has come out of my 36 years of experience and seeing people flourish and seeing people fail and introspecting why this happened. The first and foremost reason why entrepreneurs fail or why startups fail is poor idea generation. Like you rightly said, you take up an idea more for fashion rather than passion.
Right?
You want to do something which is in vogue in the market today, right? Which will make you famous instantaneously, right? And so you take up a business venture or a business idea only because it is very popular and it is an in thing to be done today, right? If you do this, you will fail because you don't have a passion towards it.
True that.
I have seen so many cafe owners in Jaipur. You'll be surprised, sir. There are 10 cafes opening each month, and there are equal number of cafes closing down each month.
That each one of our participants would also have seen.
Yes.
In around any locality
Yes,
that you see.
yes.
Yeah.
And it fails. Why? Because most of the people who get into this trade are people who are getting into a cafe business because it is fashionable,
Without understanding the tricks of the trade.
without understanding the tricks of the trade, right? And so when you don't know the nuances, the nitty-gritties of business, you're bound to fail. You're bound to fail. So that is one reason, a poor idea generation.
Right.
Right. Second problem is that you take up a business because you feel that the investment is low. Right. What do you require? I'll carry on with this cafe example.
Please.
Right.
Live example.
See. It's very cost effective to start a cafe. Why? Because all you need is a good location, and that is available on rent. Take it on rent. Do some contemporary, decoration, decor, and get some cheap machinery and start off. So within 5-7 lakhs, you start a business and call yourself a cafe owner. But it doesn't work like that. Right? You need to know the trade completely. You need to, if you want to become a cafe owner, you must learn what this market is all about.
True.
Right? Once you know the market, right? Once you have the passion for it, then go for it.
True.
Another reason why people fail is because they have not done it all, so they don't know the legal implications. Now, to open a cafe, you need licenses, you need food license, you need shop and establishment license, right? So they are unaware of this. They are unaware of the GST norms, how much GST is going to be charged. AC cafe, how much GST? Non-AC cafe, what GST? And they bungle upon that. With a reason, they get into a legal trap.
Poor understanding of
Yes,
business.
And then they're only running to the court instead of running to the cafe to run it.
That's a poor understanding of
That's
business.
very poor understanding of business. One more cardinal mistake which people in the starting and entrepreneurs do is that they think that somebody else will run business for them. Again, taking cafes example, what they feel is we will hire a chef, right? He will make everything good for us. We will hire people to serve with a smile. They will do it on their own, and I will only sit pretty and count money.
Make money, count money.
It doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't happen. Yeah.
You have to be totally grassroots level involved.
In control.
In control. I don't mind picking up used plates in my cafe if I am short of staff. I don't mind standing on the burner and churning out sandwiches and coffees.
Yeah.
I did a full-fledged course on coffee from Indian Coffee Board. I went to Bangalore, did it, right? Only to get an understanding of coffee to open this cafe.
Great.
This is the depth of knowledge that you need
So
to become an entrepreneur.
when we say the entrepreneurs fail because of poor product understanding
Yes.
or poor customer understanding, this is what you are saying.
yes,
That you ensured that you knew more about the product by even going out of your comfort zone and doing a course on understanding what is coffee
Yes, what
and
is
how
coffee.
people consume coffee.
Consume coffee.
Very good.
Thereafter, I wrote articles on coffee, which were published by Times of India. Right? Then there were few reporters who came to me. There were bloggers who came to me because my coffee was very good. They wrote blogs for me. So all this will happen. But you, first and foremost, you need to know the trade. You need to have the passion for it. You must do it the right way.
True.
Right? If you do all these, the chances of failure is nil, absolutely nil.
So,
And if you don't do it, 100% failure is guaranteed.
So we want to avoid any such failure once we get into a business, and it's important that you have a right understanding of product, customer, the business management skills. Okay, there could be issues of a wrong partner selection, or there could be issues of capital not being available on time. But do you know how to manage your capital? At times it is difficult even to do that, because of which people fail in cash flow management.
I personally feel in today's scenario, capital is not such a big hurdle. Because of government policies of Stand Up India, Shine Up India, and all the other government things, loans are available, right? And loans are more easily available to people who are professionals. And since MBA is also a professional degree, if you have one under your belt, you become eligible to get loans. So capital is not difficult. Getting capital is not difficult.
All right.
But optimum utility of that
Utilization
capital,
of that capital.
right? And getting due return from that capital, that is what is more important.
Very true, very true. And in fact, it is because of the high rate of failures, 90% of them failing, it is important to understand that where can you get those skills that will ensure that you do not fail. So the question then comes to, if I say, and I have a very strong belief that MBA can actually do that, how does an MBA can help you in your entrepreneurial journey later?
See, the way we do it here in Takshila, right? I am head of entrepreneurship cell here, and we have incubation centers inside the college where we incubate startups for our students, right? Right from idea selection to getting the knowledge of the trade through research, working in the field, right? Reports, to knowing the legal aspects, to running how to run the business, because each business has got its own way in which you have to run it. Some are very labor intensive, some are not so labor intensive. Some are there wherein you will hire mostly unskilled people. In some businesses you hire skilled people. So if you are into IT sector, you will be hiring skilled people, right? All software engineers and all. So they need to be dealt in a different manner. Whereas if you want to start something to do with food, then you will be hiring mostly unskilled people.
Correct.
Or lesser educated people. And so the way you handle them will be different.
Okay.
Right? So all this is taught in Takshila Business School on which idea will work for you. First and foremost, we see what is the strength of the gentleman who wants to start an enterprise.
Okay.
See his strengths, right? The strengths can be in him. The strengths can also be in his family. Like I told you, I had a strength in the house that I had. That was also my strength, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we will see it in him as a quality in him, or a legacy that he has got from his family, and then use these to weave a business idea around that. And once you have that business idea generated, which is as per your strengths, now you need knowledge to run that business. Right? So either you go into the field and work, right? I have churned out 200, 300 coffees each day when I was doing this course. 5 days after the course I had done in Bangalore, I was standing as a barista, just churning out coffees.
Very good. Very good.
Lattes and cappuccinos and Americanos and whatnot.
Leading by example.
Yes, you have to. You have to, because otherwise then your staff will only not respect you if you're not master of your trade. So we try and make students learn the trade in itself. Thereafter, we give them full knowledge of the legal aspects, right? How to handle logistics, how to handle the HR problems, right? And then we roll out the venture in the field.
That's great.
If you do like that, nobody fails, right? And we at Takshila are proud to say that we churn out 10, 15 entrepreneurs each year. One of our students has just got the state award from the chief minister.
So he employs 2,000 people.
Yeah, that's another one who employs 2,000 people.
He runs a renewable energy
Yes,
business.
yes.
Yeah. So what in essence is that an MBA can give you a complete understanding of business. It polishes your leadership skills. It helps you deal with uncertainty. It helps you explore. It helps you plan. It helps you design. It helps you try and then fail and then try again, because failure, loss or cost of failure at the time when you're learning is much less than when you actually get into the
Yes,
market.
correct.
You can actually find co-founders here, you can become partners here, and there's a huge value of networks that you build during your MBA class and with the alumni and the future classes. That's a great source of strengths for an entrepreneurship.
Sir, you just spoke of co-founders. Now, selecting a co-founder again is a very important task.
True.
Right. Now, I generally tell my students here at Takshila that if you are looking for a co-partner, first and foremost, find out why you need one. If you are needing one because he will bring in capital, that is no reason to take him as a co-partner. Right?
Okay.
What you need to do is you have to make sure that your co-partner has a separate set of skills.
Skill set, complementary skill sets.
Yes. Let us say if you are very good in sales, right? You should get a co-partner who is very good in, let us say, accounting
True. Yeah.
or HR or PR, or he has a lot of connections, right? Getting a person only because number one he is a friend to you, right? That is one of the reasons why people say, oh, I got him in because we are friends, right? There is no friendship when it comes to business. Okay, so first and foremost, he should have a different skill set than
Right.
you. So
Okay.
then you will complement each other, right? And then you must have harmony amongst both.
Right. So at that stage, at an MBA, actually you have a set of mentors. They could be actually practicing entrepreneurs, one like you,
Yes.
who can help the person find all these partners or anything that is required and take them through a process. That's important. What does actually MBA does is it gives you a learning template. When you want to learn, these templates, learning is not available in the real world. There you fail, you lose a lot of money, and then you learn. There are ways to, even people would say, even that is a process of learning, but that's fine.
That reminds me of a very famous saying
Huh.
that wise men learn from others' faults while fools learn from their own faults. Right? So if you are getting into business, failing and then learning, you are a fool.
In fact,
Better is you come to an MBA college, right? Through case studies, learn where entrepreneurs failed,
yes.
patch up those areas and become successful. That's a better way of doing it.
So interestingly, I'm also reminded of a saying that, अच्छा businessman वो जो बाजार के पैसे से business चला सके, अपने पैसों से तो अनाड़ी भी कुछ भी कर सकता है.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So,
You look at it that, an interesting trivia. 99% of all non-entrepreneurs. So you're talking about entrepreneurs who decide that they will get into a startup. There are others, 99% of them who are earning 25 lakhs or more per annum have done an MBA. So it's important that not only value gets generated when you want to be an entrepreneur and run a successful startup, but also if you cannot gather courage to get into entrepreneurship, you have a way out. You have a job that you can get and earn good money for yourself, and then evaluate your options later on. When do you want to start? So specifically an entrepreneurship oriented MBA, I know that you have already touched upon. Would you like to tell us more about, what more can entrepreneurship oriented MBA can do? You talked about one, they will be able to understand the business levers, what works, what doesn't work. They should be able to understand cash, accounting, budgeting. They need to understand working with people, becoming a leader yourself, choosing your partner or anything. Fourth is you can try out different business ideas. You may fail, but you can try out again. This is what all a business environment, you are the head of the entrepreneurship cell. You are actually doing it day in and day out.
See, fail means you fail in the incubation center, not in the field.
Right.
Because if you fail in the field,
Yes.
you will lose a lot of money.
Lose a lot of money, yeah.
Right. So in the incubation center, you fail, that's okay. Right. So I will like to add here, number one, for teaching a skill, you need a person who already has the skill.
All right.
Right.
I agree.
That is why you have coaches in the sports field,
Right.
not teachers.
Right.
Right. Because the coach knows the trade that you want to be in. Similarly, in an MBA college, the professor of entrepreneurship should be a practicing manager or somebody who has done it all in entrepreneurship. Right. He will only be able to guide the students properly on how to build a startup.
So that's what we at Takshila are so happy about, having you on board here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
A
much.
running, successful serial entrepreneur
Yes.
coming into the class and sharing the real life learning. That is what an MBA is all about.
The faculty has to very keenly observe the students who want to get into entrepreneurship and know their traits, know their strengths and weaknesses.
True that. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Then only will he be able to convince them to take up a business venture which is their passion, and not take up a business venture which they want to do only because it's a fad.
Right. And that you should not get into.
Yeah.
So coming to the question of, I saw a lot of articles being written on this, that, what is the right time? We have to reflect on the current times. We are passing through a very difficult COVID phase. I can still not call it a post-COVID phase. We are still in the COVID phase, where there is a likelihood of a third wave and, fourth, fifth, or whatever. The Indian economy or the world economy has taken a very strong battering in 2020. 21 so far has not looked very, very good. These are still challenging times. But we all know the moment we come back to the signs of pre-COVID normalcy, the economy will shoot and fly like this. You should, a wannabe entrepreneur should be able to spend that time, live through this uncertainty in an MBA school, learn your skills, test your ideas. By the time you are ready to launch by 2023, economy will already be booming.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure. very well said by you, sir, and very logically laid also, that these are 2 years of little lean time, right? Where the markets are not very stable, they are very volatile. We are riding on rough waters
Yes,
and
correct.
not riding a crest.
Correct.
Right. So utilize these 2 years. I'm talking about the youngsters who have not done their MBA yet and want to do it and be an entrepreneur. So utilize these 2 years to learn about entrepreneurship, learn the nuances of the trade, learn how to do business. And by the time 23 comes, I'm very, very sure we will be riding a crest then.
Yes, no doubt.
And then you can take advantage of all the opportunities that will be there in the world.
True, true. And this is also, that brings me to that, what is the right time today? The right thing to do today is to conserve the resources that you have to be ready when the market opens
Booms.
up, right? Business loans will come with covenants. Business loan, you go looking for a business loan, they'll ask for some collateral or something. Luckily, today, education loans are available without collateral.
Yes.
So the right time, two things fitting together.
And they don't have to run around the banks to get their loans also. We as a college can help them arrange loans for them.
Yeah, so Takshila,
We have tie-ups with certain banks.
we have tie-ups
You
that
just have to
help
go
you.
and give them your the paperwork that is to be done. That's
Right,
all.
and that gets you 100% education
Yes.
loan, which includes hostel and boarding as well. Even public sector banks do not give more than what is tuition fee. So that's the power of some of the businesses, some of the MBAs that have created such networks in the market. So education loan being available without collateral, an MBA waiting for you, a challenging market that you need to spend time on polishing your business idea, all of that fits in together to do an MBA. And remember that for the investor community also, when they want to invest money, they will have a special preference for those people who are professionally qualified.
Naturally.
That is an MBA.
Naturally.
So, but changing times, the changing times require a change in approach, a change in the way business models have to be worked on. Any thoughts on that?
See, sir, I personally feel change is the only constant, right? COVID has already brought in a lot of change. If I talk of the areas that I am in for my businesses, right? And if I compare two verticals of mine, one is the studio apartments, and the other is the eat out business that I have, my cafe, right, or bakery. One has taken a beating while the other has progressed.
Okay.
The studio apartments have taken a dent because most people are doing work from home.
Yeah.
So they have all gone back home. So my apartments have taken a beating. But we are doing very well as a bakery and as a cafe. Why? Thanks to Swiggy, thanks to Dunzo,
E-commerce.
thanks to Zomato. I mean, Zomato, Swiggy, Dunzo, and the other big basket and the rest they have flourished like hell because of COVID.
E-commerce, right?
E-commerce. So there are opportunities. With change in time, what opportunities will come? Then only time will unveil.
Very right. Very right.
So once COVID is gone, what opportunities will be available? We cannot fathom out as of now, but opportunities will be there, and different opportunities will be there. And one more thing about entrepreneurship is that you have to be the first to encash the opportunity. The earlier you are, you encash the opportunity, the better you will be in a long run.
And for that, you need to be exactly prepared with the skill sets.
Yes.
And those skill sets is where an MBA can help you with.
Will help.
So, and don't worry about that age. People often ask me what is the right age.
To do an MBA?
No, to be an entrepreneur.
There is no age. As and when you feel you are ready.
Great answer. And
Yeah.
you know, and the research.
If you feel you are not, don't do it. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 42.
Good, fantastic.
so late. I
Even
think-
Kellogg's also did it beyond 50,
Yeah.
right?
So it is not that age is not the limiting factor. What is the limiting factor is how well you know what you want to do.
But there is definite research also around that. That what is the, generally successful startups, the people, those who have made some news and made some good business are in the age group of 28 to 32 and have 5 to 6 years of work experience. So how do you spend your time till that age? And how do you spend time while getting skills and earning something for your financial independence? That is where MBA helps you. So who doesn't want a good life?
Everybody, we are all working towards a good life, be it a career in a job or be it a career in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I would also like to say one more thing, sir. I mean, why should we always feel that we should do something which will create ripples in the market or which will get the limelight
Start
of the media?
small.
I think you must have small verticals and many verticals.
Manageable verticals.
Management. That is what my style of business is. Have small verticals, have many verticals, have diversified businesses under your belt.
And have full control.
And have full control. And have full control. One more thing which I always tell my students who are doing entrepreneurship under me is that you may, outsource your HR, your accounts people, your finance people, your IT people, but never outsource your sales people. The sales department should be directly under your control.
So I already see that you are leading a good life. What I want to say is, in order to reach that goals, do an MBA, you have done it. Earn your financial independence, you earned it. And then get into entrepreneurship, you did it.
And keep them small, manageable.
So to sum it up, we strongly feel that an MBA is extremely important for more than 99% of the future entrepreneurs because they learn the skills.
And never feel that, oh, he has not done his MBA and he has become successful. Well, exceptions only prove the rule.
Yeah, and those
Right.
exceptions can be counted on fingers.
And those exceptions are the ones who became successful prior to MBA becoming in vogue. Right? When I did my MBA, there were only 2 colleges of MBA in whole Rajasthan.
When I did, there were 5.
One in Jaipur, one in Jodhpur.
So in our case, Bikaner, Pilani got added and Ajmer.
So Pilani was even then. BITS Pilani was already there. But BITS Pilani means it does only.
So what can Takshila PGDM with a business analytics can teach you is, I don't want to spend time, but it's sufficient to say that with our kind of faculty that have great practical entrepreneurial experience, with the kind of ecosystem that we have built here that is surrounding around the student-centered, with the right pedagogy that teaches people to try out things. Even if you fail, you learn why you failed. Failure is a great teacher, according to me. You polish your communication and leadership skills over here. If these 3, and plus the idea that you work on for 2 years, I think that makes a great recipe for a future entrepreneur. Who doesn't want to be an entrepreneur? Who doesn't want to roll in millions of rupees? But for that, you need to be prepared. And for that, you need a Takshila MBA. So thank you very much, all of you who were there with us. I hope we did justice to the topic, and looking forward to interact further with you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless you all. Good luck.